Stay Live. I'm Natalie Hankins, career confidence and mindset coach. And today I will be sharing how to say yes to yourself and so that you can create the life that you want to live. Say hi to me if you're joining me live, and I will activate the chat. And let's get right into it. So, I am super excited about this because saying yes to yourself is so important so that you can create the life that you want to live. If you are a mom or a caregiver of any kind, or if you're just a people pleaser, this can be challenging because we're always putting other people first. So, it's so important to put yourself first. You can't help others until you help yourself first. And I know we've all heard this analogy before. If you are flying in an airplane and there is an emergency, they always tell you put your own mask on yourself first before you help others. And this is important because if you don't, then you're going to pass out and you won't be able to help your loved ones. So I'm a caregiver. I have two adult children with special needs still living at home. My son has autism and mood disorder, and my daughter has Wolf Hirschhorn syndrome. So it's a very rare um, chromosomal abnormality. She's missing a part of her fourth chromosome. So I dedicated 20 years of my life to helping them reach their full potential. And I am so glad that I did that because they're doing amazing today. But at the same time, I wish I had had a life coach to help me prioritize myself, and things would have been a lot easier. um, I wasn't getting the support that I needed at the time. So there was a point when, after the kids aged out of the school system, that I couldn't even make it to my own doctor appointment. And this happened about 4 years ago before I was certified as a life coach. And so I went to the hospital for my doctor appointment, but the parking lot was full. So I parked in a expectant mother parking space, and I wasn't pregnant. So my son started yelling and screaming, and so I pulled out of that space and drove around to the other parking lot, and I found a space, but he was still yelling and screaming. And at that point, I realized that I couldn't make it to my doctor appointment. I couldn't bring my fully grown son, I think he was 23 at the time, into the hospital yelling and screaming with my daughter as well, who has special needs as well. So it just wasn't going to be a good situation. So I decided to head home. And I realized that, like, I didn't put myself in a good situation, right? I needed to get more support. And I did make it to my doctor appointment. But I am really thankfully, later that year, I discovered one of Tony Robbins' coaching institutes, and I learned how important it was to meet my own needs. He has a strategy called the Six Human Needs Strategy. If we're not fulfilled in our lives, then more than likely one or more of our six essential human needs are not being met. And I had that love and connection in my life, but I was missing the significance, growth, and contribution that my coaching career now provides. Because I just feel like I'm living my purpose right now, helping other women discover the confidence to make their impact on the world through their lives and their businesses. So I love helping other women show up for themselves in their lives and make more money in their businesses so that they can increase their impact on the world. And that's what really sets my heart on fire. But it almost didn't happen. I almost didn't become a life coach because there was someone in my life who didn't want me to do it. and he didn't think that I would be successful. And while it was true that I had no idea how to market myself at the time or run a business, I mean, I'll fully admit that. What I did have was 100% confidence in myself that I could help other people. I've always felt a calling to help other people, and I've always felt like I've had a special insight in how to do that. And so that's when I became certified at the Coaching Institute. But if I hadn't had that confidence in myself that I could do it, and if I hadn't stood up for myself and what I wanted in my life, then I wouldn't be here today. So stand up for yourself and what you want in your life. What do you feel is your purpose in your life? How do you want to spend your life? You don't need permission from anyone else to spend your life the way that you want to live it. Allow yourself to believe that you can achieve what your heart desires. Stop setting goals because they are realistic. What do you really want? I have an impossible goal of making 200K in my business with the 2 kids with special needs still living at home while making time to enjoy my life. And there's a program within the Life Coach School that I'm certified to teach. It's the Impossible Goal program. And there's actually a process for achieving impossible goals. So I love the Impossible Goal program because it's allowed me to set a goal that I really want, even though my brain was telling me that it was impossible. So go after what you really want, right? Shoot for the moon. Even if you miss, you'll end up among the stars. And, so what if you don't reach your goal in 1 year? Like, the worst that can happen is that you'll feel disappointed. So the worst that can happen is a feeling, right? I know people who don't like to set goals because they're afraid they're going to let themselves down. But, that's just failing ahead of time because you never set the goal that you actually want. So don't allow fear to stop you from setting the goal that you really want. Instead, ask yourself what you really want out of life. What do you feel is your purpose? If your purpose is to be a stay-at-home mom, that's amazing, right? Like, be in integrity with what you want to do in your life. So just make sure that you're giving yourself credit for what you do, right? As moms, we don't do that as often as we need to. Give yourself credit every day for what you do. And let me tell you, you have to give yourself credit first before you can expect others to give you credit. And don't let anyone hold you back from doing what you are called to do in this world. I believe that we all have special gifts to offer. And when we share our value with others, that's how we create money. The amount of value that we put out into the world will be returned to us in monetary form. And I learned that from the Life Coach School training and Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. So have the confidence and belief in yourself that you can do it and you are worthy. We are worthy just because we are on this planet. If you're not confident in yourself, if you're not feeling worthy, it's because of what you're telling yourself. Okay? Confidence comes from what we tell ourselves. And you might be beating up on yourself. So some people think that by beating up on themselves, that will motivate them to take action. And this just isn't true. Because our thoughts create our feelings motivate our actions, and our actions give us our results. So if we are judging ourselves, we're not going to feel motivated, right? And we're not going to take action. So whenever we're feeling negative in any way, then we only take actions that are non-productive. So if we're feeling negative, then we buffer, right? So buffering is when we eat too much or when we're not hungry, right? And we buy things when we don't need them and we scroll mindlessly on Facebook. And we can get caught in a negative thought loop, right? Because that's what happens when we have negative thoughts. And that's what happens when we have negative feelings, right? We just get stuck in this thought loop. And so that's why the mindset coaching is priceless. I will help you identify those automatic negative thoughts and limiting beliefs that are holding you back and help you to focus on a more empowering thought. So, I recently created my own strategy for helping clients build confidence on the go. And I love this strategy. I've been using it myself, and I think this is really going to be a turning point in my own life and as well as for my clients. Because when we're reminding ourselves of how strong we are and how capable we are every day, then guess what? We become more strong and capable every day. So, stronger and more capable. So, you want to be focused on positive thoughts as much as possible throughout the day. The first step to overcoming those automatic negative thoughts and limiting beliefs is to recognize what they are, right? Awareness is the first step. So, my most pervasive limiting belief is I don't have time to do what I want to do in my business. And I've been working hard on overcoming this belief through the self coaching and with the help of my mindset coach. And I had a huge breakthrough when I realized that I can make time today to do what I want to do in my business. So just that shift from I don't have time to I can make time today is helping me to become massively more productive. Instead of wasting time feeling sorry for myself and spinning in the thoughts of everything that I have to do, I am now taking action. You might be one mindset shift away from changing the trajectory of your whole life. That's the power of mindset coaching. So, our limiting beliefs are like an invisible fence. They hold us in, they keep us exactly where we are today, just like they hold the dog in the yard, right? So, even if the fence loses power, let's say the power goes out, the dog still does not attempt to escape. And that's because he doesn't think that he can. So our limiting beliefs are exactly the same. They keep us stuck and exactly where we are. And not only do I have the mindset coaching tools to help you break through your limiting beliefs, but I also have more creative strategies, such as the archetype strategy. So, the archetype strategy is a strategy in which we'll access your inner strength through your inner archetypes, like your inner warrior, your inner magician. And I love the inner magician because that helps me to just fly over that invisible fence, right, of my limiting beliefs. The inner magician is helping me make my business fun and easy. So, you must recognize the story that you're telling yourself is not helping you. It's actually putting you in victim mode. So I didn't even realize that I was in victim mode until recently. I was telling myself I don't have time because I have two kids with special needs and I have medical needs myself. And I was actually in victim mode because I was blaming my circumstances. And we're taught at the life coach school that you can't, well, your circumstances don't actually give you your results. It's your thoughts about your circumstances that give you your results. So now that I'm focusing on, I can make time today to do what I want to do in my business, that is the result that I'm creating. I am making time to do what I want to do in my business. Remember, it's important not to beat up on yourself once you figure out what this story is that you're telling yourself. Have compassion for yourself and don't judge yourself. Remember, that's not productive. So, when I looked at why I have continued to tell myself I don't have time, I realized that I wanted to protect myself from overworking. And I've done that before more than once. I've worked from 9 to 9:30 because I've realized that the cooking and the cleaning and the taking care of kids, that all counts as work. So that's why it's so important to set boundaries, right? For me, it's so important to have that work life balance. And this is something that I help my clients do all the time. But it does require mindset, right? We can choose to set boundaries around work time. We can choose how we want to spend our time. And don't allow other people to dictate how you spend your time. This is your life. We have to take full responsibility for where we are in life and the results we have created in our lives. We can create the life that we want if we know that we are worthy, if we recognize the strength within us, if we focus on the vision of the life that we want to create, and if we believe that we can make that vision become a reality. And I would love to help you make your vision become a reality. Your transformation starts with a free breakthrough session, and I will leave that link in the comments. We will discuss your vision of the life that you want to create and how you can break through any limiting beliefs, any obstacles that are getting in your way. You can do anything you set your mind to. I look forward to helping you say yes to yourself and create the life that you want to create.